From the outside, her life looked ordinary. Every weekday, she walked the same route home from her paralegal job. Every night, she ate dinner at 7 and watched TV until sleep took her. Routine made her feel safe. That safety ended when the gifts appeared outside her apartment door. At first, she blamed her neighbor in 4B, Mr. Abernathy, the thin, older man who always stood in his window, watching across the courtyard into her apartment. He never waved, never moved, just stared. But the truth was far worse. The man she feared wasn't stalking her. He was terrified. And whatever he was watching her too. The building was quiet in a way that never felt peaceful. The hall smelled of dust and old carpet. Sounds echoed too loudly, doors slamming, footsteps stretching into something hollow. Her apartment, 4A, sat at the end of the hall. Its side window looked straight into Mr. Abernathy's living room. That was where she always saw him. The first time was late at night while heating dinner. A shadow moved across the courtyard. When she glanced up, he stood framed in light, perfectly still. After that, he was always there. When she came home, when she opened her curtains, sometimes pacing slowly like a trapped animal. She tried to convince herself he was lonely, then harmless. Eventually, she accepted what her instincts already knew. He was unsettling. She kept her blinds shut and checked her locks twice every night. Still, the feeling of being watched never left. The first gift appeared on a Tuesday, a bright red maple leaf placed neatly in the center of her doormat. Autumn winds could have blown it there. She laughed it off. The next Tuesday brought a smooth black stone. The hallway was indoors. Someone had placed it. More followed. A blue feather, a twisted piece of driftwood, small objects that felt chosen. Always on Tuesdays, always centered. Her stomach tightened every time she reached her door. Then came the doll. A porcelain doll lay broken on the mat, its legs snapped off, its face smeared with dirt and something dark. Its glass eyes stared upward like a tiny corpse. Her breath shook. She looked toward apartment 4B. Mr. Abernathy stood in his window. This time, when their eyes met, he slowly backed into darkness, like a man caught doing something wrong. That night, soft knocking came from her door. When she opened it, the hallway was empty. The building manager brushed off her fears, calling Mr. Abernathy strange but harmless. But new sounds began bleeding through the shared wall. Whispers, clicking noises, long hissing breaths that didn't sound human. Sometimes it felt like pleading, other times like chanting. Sleep became impossible. She started writing everything down, times, sounds, patterns, until she ran into Mr. Abernathy on the stairwell. Up close, he looked terrified. Sweat soaked his collar. His eyes darted toward empty corners. When he saw her, he flinched violently and rushed past like he was fleeing something unseen. And suddenly, it made sense. He wasn't watching her. He was watching something near her, something she couldn't see. The worst gift came on another Tuesday, a yellowed newspaper clipping taped to her door. Local woman vanishes from apartment building. The address listed apartment 4A, her apartment. 20 years ago, never found. That night, the whispers grew frantic. Then came scraping, slow, heavy, like something being dragged across brick. Scrape, drag, pause. A scream tore through the building, raw and cut short. Shaking, she looked through her window into 4B. Mr. Abernathy cowered in the corner, and in the center of the room stood something impossibly tall and thin, a shape made entirely of shadow. No face, no eyes, just darkness swallowing the light. It slowly turned toward her. Cold crushed her chest. Then it stepped forward, straight into the wall between them. The brick didn't stop it. The scraping was no longer next door. It was inside her apartment.
Instinct took over. She ripped open the door and ran barefoot down the hall, down the stairs, and into the rain. She didn't stop until her lungs burned and her legs collapsed beneath a bus shelter. Police later found nothing unusual. No intruder, no struggle. Mr. Abernathy sat dead in his chair, facing the wall. Heart attack. But she knew fear had killed him. A friend retrieved her belongings and said the apartment felt unnaturally cold. The black stone still sat on the counter. Now she lives in a high-rise with no shared walls. Yet sometimes, late at night, she hears faint scraping, and she wonders if the entity ever belonged to that building, or if it followed her, waiting inside the walls.